Good morning guys and welcome to day 3. It was very hard to get up this morning. My bed was very comfy. The dirt of you, Welbeck. She must have been rolling around all night. Good girl. Cleaning all my tech. Saddle's looking good, son. Yeah, me and Welbeck are ready for our flatwork lesson. Should be fun. Should be a little bit more fun than Silver's lesson just because she's a little bit easier to ride because I'm more used to her really. So yeah, I'm excited. So I didn't get any videos of me doing the flatwork lesson, but I went then and videoed the other half of my group doing the same exercise just so I could show you and explain what we had to do. So basically there's these two parallel poles on kind of the 1/3 line of the arena. Is that a thing? I don't know, I'm making it up. And you canter through them, trot in them, and then canter the opposite direction. And you can do this in trot first and then walk in between them. And then if you're feeling like you have a lot of control, you can canter into them and then walk through them. And then next we cantered in circles. So first you canter outside the parallel poles, then you canter through the parallel poles, and then you canter a circle inside the parallel poles, so you're getting smaller and bigger, and you try to keep your hands very steady and just use your legs to move them in and out of the circle. And it's really good for control and making sure they're not falling in or out and getting a nice bend and keeping them supple. And I really enjoyed this. I'm definitely going to set it up at home and try it with Khal and Fiona, because Welbeck was very good at it. I was really happy with her. She was so easy to kind of maneuver around with just my legs. So I definitely going to try it with the younger horses because they definitely will not be as good as Welbeck was. Flatwork lesson is done. Good girl, Welbeck. Hey? Who's a good girl? Ways of having a grey horse. What is that? Huh? What did you do that for? So we just had a stable management and a course walking and building lesson, and they were so interesting. The stable management was more like, hello Welbeck, how to like go to international competitions and what you need to know about like trotting up and boot inspections. And then the course walking was really like, it was really like a wake-up call about how I need to like buy a tape measure and actually measure out my distances, because he told us to just walk 4 strides and then make 2 markers, and then he measured all our 4 strides and like no one got it right. We were all like either too short or too long. So it was like really interesting, and yeah, I really enjoyed that. I'm definitely gonna go and buy a tape measure. So it's lunchtime now. Good girl, Welbeck. Lunchtime for me, and then we're gonna have two lessons afterwards. So we just had lunch and also a PR talk from Caroline Brindley, who's from Mackey Ireland. She was really lovely and it was really interesting. And now we're going to do a pole work kind of lesson with Silver Boy. He doesn't look very excited. So yeah, can't wait. Look at that for drool. Wow, mate, you're so cute. Disgusting. Made a very quick change over from Silver to Welbeck. Just about to tack her up now. Good girl, Welbeck. For our jumping lesson. Very exciting. So the aim of this jumping lesson was to use what we learned the previous day and then apply that to a distance. And the distance was 4 quite forward, strong strides to a double. So you wanted to be able to ride forward the first 2 strides and then sit up for the double. And as you can see, he had to help me over the trot poles again because Welbeck just hates trotting poles. She gets really nervous about them and just wants to trot over them all the time. But she does eventually relax and we're able to trot over them and walk over them. I'm just gonna keep practicing at home with that and keep walking her over poles and getting her used to them. This lesson was actually with Tom Frayne, never actually said that. And the previous day I was riding with my jumping bit, which is like 2-ring, and he said he doesn't like them, so he asked me to ride with a snaffle. So today I just came out with a snaffle, but it doesn't mean I didn't have as much control, but we're getting there with that. And you can see this time she trots over it quite nice and relaxed and lowers her head a bit, so she's kind of stretching over her back. Then we just do the same again. We start with the grid that we did yesterday. It's just a pretty simple 3 jumps, 1 stride in between. Just trot into it, try and stay quiet. And after the grid, he didn't want me to pull too much. He kind of just wanted me to kind of go with the flow and wait until she relaxed, instead of kind of fighting against her and making her more stressed. And he also told me to pat her with my inside hand, because this stops me from locking with my inside hand and pulling against her, and helps her relax quicker, which did really, really work. He said he uses that with a lot of riders and it seems to help. And here I don't actually come to the fence, because he was telling me to just keep trotting her, not to just come to the fence every time I trot. And there he took out the middle part and we just jumped down it as a 2-stride double. And you can see that although she does kind of run off a bit at the first few strides after the jump, she comes back very quickly and comes back very soft. So we're just trying to shorten the time that it takes for her to come back to me. Oh, it's actually 3 strides. I said 2 strides a minute ago. So here now I'm coming to the line. So you jump in, it's 4 strides, and then you sit up. So it's 4 strides, and this is the horse that was also my lesson, and he was just so nice with his back end. So we asked the girl that was filming me to take a video of him too, because it was so nice. And you can see she comes down there a lot steadier, and she's nice over the double. And I also jumped it a bit bigger, but we didn't get that on video. Welbeck's done with her lesson, and I'll post her. Good girl, Welbeck. She's munching a bit of hay while I go to lectures now. I think we have some lectures with a vet nurse now, so just basically another day in college for me. I'm sure I'll definitely learn some new stuff though. This guy keeps knocking over his water. He's so bold. So we're just finished with our lectures, which were really interesting. We also got some talks from the trainers, just like touching on the key points that they thought were the most important to take out of this weekend, which was really good. We also got this little booklet from one of them, so it's really interesting. And now I'm just gonna go feed the horses. Hello, hello, Welbeck. Oh. Good night, Welbeck. Good night, Silver.